Hi, I am Tamira Chapman, and we're here to learn how to build and scale a tech company as a non-technical founder. I am an award-winning entrepreneur, attorney, philanthropist, and founder of Storehouse, a tech company that helps brands monetize through data-driven merchandising. Over the past 6 years, Storehouse has exceeded over $100 million in sales, donated millions of dollars to nonprofits, and in 2022, grew to be the 8th fastest growing woman-owned company in the world. Out of 50 businesses named in the 50 fastest growing list, less than 5 were Black. And I offer my story to you today in hopes you'll soon join me on that list. Building on my prior success as an attorney and executive at a Fortune 10 company, I launched Storehouse to help businesses, primarily nonprofits, develop an additional revenue stream through product development and merchandising. Working in big law and corporate America provided outstanding grooming and training. My roles over a 12-year period allowed me to become a subject matter expert in a number of disciplines, including legal, marketing, big data, supply chain, and human resources. In addition, I was named special counsel to the general counsel, which gave me firsthand access to the entire C-suite of executives. I learned how to world-class problem solve and built a high, robust, functioning team. I soon realized that while I maintained a great quality of life in a corporate world, my income was not going to be enough to close the wealth gap in my family and provide for future generations. I wanted my family to have a better start than me, and that required chartering a new path forward. Around the same time, a number of Black-led community organizations were struggling with funding and started to go out of business. These are the same organizations we lean on when the community needs help with important causes like funding breast cancer treatments, access to scholarships, and activities for youth. So I started to think, is there anything that I can do to serve these organizations and build a viable business with the goal of circulating the Black dollar in our community? While praying for the right idea, God gave me the vision of Storehouse, this concept of bringing resources into one place with the goal of distributing it to those in need. During my research to launch Storehouse, I learned that consumers spend $5.5 trillion on retail goods and services each year. Yet many nonprofit organizations did not participate in this market in any meaningful manner. They needed a strategy to enter this retail space in an innovative and effective way. To understand and address this issue, for the past 6 years, Storehouse studied the intersection of consumer spending, nonprofit fundraising, and e-commerce marketing, and ultimately developed a technology to bridge the gap. Traditionally, nonprofit fundraising strategies rely on the identity of a nonprofit organization, who they are and what they do, in order to drive fundraiser participation by donors who believe in that identity. I believed organizations should instead leverage their valuable identity, but focus on the wants and needs of the donor, or stated in the context of retail, the consumer. We also believe that nonprofits could utilize data analytics to yield information about donor preferences, which could then be used to focus marketing initiatives and develop products and services in areas where donors already wanted to spend. Next, we simply needed to develop the technology to unlock the trends and patterns in an organization's big data. So with the help with my extraordinary family, we set out to make history. To show you how it can be done, I'm going to share with you the 7 steps I use to build and scale a tech company as a non-technical founder. First, validate your idea. Spend time with your potential customers and target market and ensure there is a real need for your product. I spent time in the market with organizations learning about their fundraising initiatives. I learned that nonprofits face 2 common issues: financial sustainability and relevancy. The organizations were struggling to raise funds by utilizing dated fundraising methods, such as simply soliciting donations or hosting benefit events. Donors of the organizations were quickly developing fatigue from the commonplace methods of fundraising. The organizations simply needed a new way to monetize their brands. Second, map out your technology. Download Canva, Photoshop, or PowerPoint and design an overview or wireframe of how your product or service will function. These platforms are user-friendly and they require no coding expertise in order to produce your deliverable. In the most descriptive way possible, detail how your product will work to solve a current pain point. Ensure your overview is in basic terms and easy for your target market to understand. I showed the organizations their stockpile of data, research on consumer spending, and mock-ups of customers purchasing from the market at large. Then I showed them their data being unlocked to identify trends in spending patterns and their audience purchasing the same products from the organization, resulting in brand new fundraising dollars. I didn't have a sophisticated data analytics platform yet, but I could communicate enough of the idea through those drawings and wireframes to generate soft interest. Third, socialize your overview with your proposed target market and potential investors. Use your design overview as a soft pitch to drum up interest with potential customers and investors. Share your initial sketches and explain how you landed with this particular version of success. Articulate their pain points as you understand them and share why you believe your solution solves them. This process creates buy-in and even sometimes a soft commitment. Fourth, revise and refine your offering based on feedback from your market. Understand the gaps in your proposal and offering. Then refine based on the feedback you receive from the market. Our potential customers love the idea of the Storehouse concept, but they struggle to understand how they would manage logistics related to a new successful merchandising program. As a result of that feedback, Storehouse became vertically integrated to offer end-to-end merchandising solutions when we launched. A customer now simply needs to just say yes to Storehouse, and we will manage the entire program from design, curation, manufacturing, e-commerce development, fulfillment, and customer service. Fifth, identify a team of trusted advisors that will help you source the appropriate resources to build. The resources include personal training, development, and referrals. You may not be able to code, but you can enroll in basic language classes so that you know what to expect and you can articulate your preference to a future team of developers. You can also stay at the table to manage those developers, but I believe you're better served to share equity with a CTO so that you could go further faster. When it was time for Storehouse to identify developers, we activated our entire network, which included family, friends, professional colleagues, and third-party service provider recommendations. You may find that you start with one resource, and that's enough to get you to a beta test. But as the company starts to scale and there are additional partners, you may need more resources. You may need more qualified developers. This is to be expected. Sixth, focus on your strengths to grow the business. With a technical co-founder or CTO in place to manage a team of developers, you can now focus on your expertise. Your time can be spent developing your sales proposition, marketing, customer acquisition, and building out a winning team. I am an attorney by trade. I practiced in big law and at a Fortune 10 corporation. The skills I learned in other trades were absolutely transferable to Storehouse. I could bring sophisticated and methodical problem solving to every single challenge Storehouse would face. Seventh, and finally, remember why you started. The process of founding a tech company is hard, but so is working 40 hours per week for someone else for the next 40 or 50 years. When the work is insurmountable, feels lonely, and not yet offering a financial return, return to your faith and always remember why you started. There's a record of my family arriving to the United States in the late 1700s. In the early 1900s, my family was still on a plantation in Mississippi. My grandmother was the first person in my family to learn to read, and I was the first person to go to college. It took 400 years to create a CEO and a multimillionaire in my family. It is my duty to ensure the next generations have a head start, a blueprint, and a seat at the table. I am accustomed to doing hard things well, and you are too. Start where you are with what you have, and you do what you can. There's plenty you can do to launch your tech company without knowing how to code. It's simply time to get started. Thank you.